الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. We begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him and we ask His help and we seek His forgiveness and we seek refuge in Allah from the evil inside us and from the evil consequences of our bad actions. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides, no one can misguide. And whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leaves to go astray, no one can guide. I testify that there is no God to be worshipped but Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is our master, our teacher, our leader, the Prophet of Allah. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alayhi wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه العزيز وهو أصدق القائلين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. صدق الله العظيم. Brothers and sisters, family is the first institution that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala established on earth. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised that He will bless those who take care of their families. That He will bless those who do everything possible to maintain the well-being and the soundness of their family. And I'm a big believer that everything starts from home. That if you really want a strong, healthy community, then you must have strong, healthy family. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught us that family starts from the husband and the wife. If you want a good relationship in your community, then you have to have a good relationship with your spouse. And he taught us also that there is nothing that the shaitan would love to ruin more than a relationship between a man and his wife. He taught us sallallahu alayhi wasallam about the hadith that the shaitan, towards the end of every day, the other followers or the other shayateen, they report to him. One of them will say, well, I did not leave so and so until I motivated him to do that. I pushed that person to do something that is not pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I whispered to this woman to do something that is, to violate the prohibition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then one of them will say that I did not leave so and so until I just ruined their relationship together. So and so is a husband and a wife. And the shaitan will say, Ant, udunu minni, come closer to me. You are the one. You are the chosen one. And I have seen many families, brothers and sisters, that have been destroyed by strife, lack of commitment, bad attitudes. And again, if you really want to have a strong family, strong relationship between you and your spouse, then you have to fight for it. You have to be serious and fight for your family. And in this khutbah, I'm going to share just a few tips. Throughout my life as an imam, and I've been an imam for a little bit over 10 years now, and I've seen him work, wallahi. So listen carefully and pay attention. This is for us, for all of us, those who have a good relationship and those also who struggle. If you want to have a healthy family, then you will have to have a healthy relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you're planning to have a strong family relationship, then your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must be strong. You have to renew your commitment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to revive your faith. You have to revive the relationship between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and yourself. If you want strong family relationship, then you and your spouse must worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala together. Must make your home a home where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praised, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is honored, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned. A place where the Quran is being recited. A place where you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala together. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Rahim Allahu rajulan, may the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon a man who gets up early in the morning to pray. And what does he do? Does he go to the restroom, make sure to and leave? Or prays by himself? No. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, may the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon someone who gets up early in the morning. He wakes up his wife to pray with him. And he also said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and may the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon a woman who gets up early in the morning to pray, and she wakes up her husband to pray with her. Make your home a place of worship. Don't sit around the kitchen table talking about who got divorced or, so and so who got caught doing what. Don't slander people. Don't bring all these ills or these impurities into your home. Sometimes people, they ask, how come I don't have barakah in my house? Because you invited the shaitan into your home. That's why. That's why you don't feel any barakah in there. One of the most inspiring example is Abu Ayyub al-Ansari, rahimahullah. He's one of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This man, during the false accusation of Aisha radiallahu anha, after the vicious attack on the honor of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it was really the talk of the town. And so Abu Ayyub al-Ansari radiallahu anhu, he was sitting with his wife. They were sitting at home, socializing, they were talking. And so he asked his wife, if you were Aisha, would you have done that? She said, absolutely not. Subhanallah. He said, well, Aisha is better than you. Therefore, that she could have not done something like that. She asked him the same question, and she, subhanallah, about the male companion who was accused with Aisha radiallahu anha, and she arrived at the same conclusion. Those people, brothers and sisters, they thought good about themselves. They thought good about others. They did not slander people. They did not talk ill about others. They did not backbite others. They worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala together in their homes because they wanted this mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A second tip, brothers and sisters, is to be considerate. Be considerate. To treat your spouse the way that you want to be treated. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. The best of you is the best to his wife. And how this is going to happen? By being considerate. By treating your spouse with respect. Most of the time it's not really the big things that hold people back in their relationships. It's actually the small things. As simple as, lowering your voice when you talk to your spouse. Asking things in a kinder way. Sometimes people wonder, well, if I do that, my life will change. Wallahi, you'll be amazed. Wallahi, if you are willing to do this adjustment, this small little adjustment, wallahi, you'll be amazed at how much better your relationship will become. Treat them well. Be considerate. The third is communication. Be open. Talk. If you have a problem, talk about it. If you have expectations, talk about them. Do not assume that the other person is a mind reader. Well, I'm upset. Well, why you're upset? I don't know. She should know why I'm upset. Wow. She's not a magician. You gotta talk. You gotta communicate. Do not assume anything. Do not assume anything. Tell her how you want to be respected. Tell him how you want to be loved and cared for. Share your feelings with your spouse. If you're angry, say it. I'm angry. I feel neglected. I feel frustrated. The best way to communicate is actually to share your feelings. Also, another way of communication is to be expressive. And this is something that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very clear about it. And he sallallahu alaihi wasallam was so expressive about his love to his family, all his family members, including his wives. Words have power. Words, they have power. Words like, I love you. Words like, I'm grateful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put you in your life. Words like, if I have to do it all over, I will marry you again. Things like that, brothers and sisters, are not just empty words. Wallahi, they are like the glue. Wallahi, they are like the glue that strengthens your relationship. Words can motivate people, can lift people, can bring out confidence and so forth. The last advice or the last tip is patience. Probably patience is the key to every successful relationship, even your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, even in your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes, you know, you look at your spouse and you see tons of good qualities that you love about them. But there's that one quality that bothers you so much. The advice from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was that if you see good qualities in your spouse, don't focus on that one bad quality. In other words, find beauty in your spouse. Focus on the positive. Develop an eye for the good. You know, in life, no matter how much good there is, you can always find bad if you look for it. You will always find errors if you look for it. You will always find something that you don't know or something that you don't understand. So it's really up to you. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wives weren't perfect. We all giggle sometimes about the story and all these stories about the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like Aisha when she got jealous and threw the food out in the street. We all giggle about these stories. But the reaction of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was incredible. You know, he did not allow his emotion to take control of him. But he said, "Gharat ummukum." You're my smile, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, your mother became jealous. So 4 tips. Remember them. Remember them. Your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, if you want healthy, strong relationship at home, then you have to have a strong, healthy relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala together. Make your home a place where Allah is mentioned and honored. Quran is being recited. Listen to a halaqah on a YouTube video or something together. Discuss something together. Don't talk about people. Da'i al-khalq lil-khaliq, as the Arabs say. You know, da'i al-khalq. Leave the creations for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take care of it. You know, He's the most knowledgeable. He's the most wise. He knows everything and He runs everything perfectly. Don't talk about anybody into your homes. The second thing was treat your spouse, treat them well. You know, be considerate. Treat them the way that you want to be treated. The third, communication. And the fourth, be patient. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring love and compassion into our homes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings mercy and compassion and kindness into our relationship with our spouses, with our children, with one another. Allahumma ameen. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala. Alhamdulillah, there are some announcements, inshallah. OCIF's Umrah trip is on December 22nd to December 31st, inshallah. Please contact Adam Travel for more information. They still have some available spaces, inshallah. Next Friday, the Masjid inshallah is hosting a presentation on how to be prepared for the unexpected and sharing the end of life, which is presented by Dr. Cordula at 6 p.m. Santa Ana Mosque is having their annual banquet on December the 9th at the Marriott Hotel in Garden Grove. Flyers are outside. KRLA will be hosting the 22nd annual banquet November 17th at Anaheim Hilton at 6 p.m. You can visit krlabanquet.com for more information. And let's conclude, inshallah, by making dua for our brothers and sisters who are going through hardships, those who are ill. Brother Shakil Ahmed, Abdul Hussein, and Dr. Hassan Karman, who, oh subhanAllah, they all have passed away. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy upon them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shower them with His mercy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala resurrect them on the day of judgment with the prophets and the messengers and the truthful. Allahumma ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant His shade in a day when be no shade except the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also remember to make prayer for all those who lost their lives in the last mass shooting in Thousand Oaks that happened a couple of days ago. And actually a week before, we all witnessed what happened in Pittsburgh. And I actually used to be the Imam of the Islamic Center of Pittsburgh for 8 years before I came to Southern California. And that synagogue, the Tree of Life, I've been there a few times, subhanAllah. I taught about Islam, I attended events there. And across the street from that synagogue, there was another synagogue that the Islamic Center of Pittsburgh had a very, very strong relationship with. And the Jewish community in Pittsburgh is a very vibrant, very, very strong community, very active community. And the Muslims and the Jews, and also alongside with Christians and others, you know, they work together in issues that impacted the city when it was there, issues like education, transportation, you know, gun controls and drugs and stuff like that. It was really heartbroken to see these people, you know, die for no reason. You know, that could have happened to anybody. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Allahumma ameen. You know, the city of Irvine had a press conference a few days ago after one of the synagogues in Irvine was vandalized. And subhanAllah, I was invited alongside with other community leaders and faith leaders. The mayor was there, the chief of police, and others. And subhanAllah, after I finished, I just want to share this with you because it's so beautiful. You know, after I finished the conference, a man came, you know, probably his late 60s. He came to me and he said, you know, I just want to tell you that in the past, I have said many bad things about Islam and Muslims. You know, and I said them just out of ignorance and hatred. And I'm just here today to ask you if you forgive me. And then I said to him, you know, don't worry about it. You know, and then I spoke with him for a little bit, and then one of the things that I said, you know, love is the thing that prevails. And so he started to weep, subhanAllah. And he asked me if we can hug. So we hugged. So it was just a beautiful, beautiful story, a beautiful experience. You know, sometimes you will never know, you know, who are the people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring their hearts to be on your side. Or who are the people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring actually to the fold of Islam and be Muslims. You know, we'll study in the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam about Umar and about Abu Sufyan, people who fought the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in battles. Abu Sufyan fought Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in battles for 23 years. But later on, he was in the side of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he is a sahabi, he is a companion. You know, so you will never know. You will never know. Which makes me, you know, realize that kindness and gentleness is really the best way to convey this message to people. You know, Umar ibn Khattab said, "Kunu du'atan ila Allahi wa antum samitun." You know, make da'wah to people. You know, invite people to the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you're silent. You don't have to say anything. They said, how? He said, بِحُسْنُ الْخُلُقِ. بِحُسْنُ الْخُلُقِ. You know, having good qualities, having good manners, you know. SubhanAllah. Our thoughts and prayers for the people who passed away in the shooting, in these fires. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you, protect your families, protect our communities. Allahumma ameen. Allahumma ij'al hadha al-jam'a jam'an marhuma. Farruqna min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. Wa la taj'al fina wa la hawlana wa la khalfana shaqiyyan wa la mahmuma. اللهم من ولي من أمر المسلمين أمرا فرفق بهم فارفق به. اللهم من ولي من أمر المسلمين أمرا فرفق بهم فارفق به. ومن اشتد عليهم فاشدد عليه. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy upon us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our parents and have mercy and bless our children. Allahumma ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from anxiety and grief and from laziness and inability. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the Muslim community. Allahumma ameen. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم وأقم الصلاة.